What's up, everyone? It's DV, and we're back in Islands for a new build. Previously in my series for builds in Islands, we did this farm, which looks a little empty. It's a dirt farm, okay? No, I'm just kidding. It used to be a pineapple farm, but I took all those seeds and we made our auto farm over here. You can see it's doing a great job of filling up pretty quickly. Let's see. Got all these. So we're going to leave this one alone, but this was our auto farm. I showed you a bunch of builds on that. If you missed those two videos, definitely go check them out. I will link them on the top right as well as in the description below. Today, we're going to be working on the wood farm, which is going to be a lot of fun. This is so you can automate getting wood and leveling up your wood skills so you can get even more wood. Yay. And if this is the first time you're watching this series, by the way, we're going to be doing all of these builds. We're going to be doing an iron farm. We're going to be doing cryiron. We're going to do steel and all that. And this is not meant to be like the most OP farms in the world. So you're not going to be seeing any crazy, like, I'm going to upgrade a bunch of totems and spend billions type builds. No, we're not going to do any of that. With this economy being as crazy as it is, I'm not going to go there. We're not going to even try to go there because it's insane right now. By the way, if you like seeing these videos, I'm just going to ask you one favor here. Please do me a solid. Hit that like button. Does help a lot. Shows that you care. Also, leaving a comment below will help this video get out to all the people that are hiding on YouTube. And let's fill the recommendations with this video because it's cool. Like, it's Islands, man. We need to keep going with Islands. Also, I'm making my own island style game, so you gotta do it. You gotta subscribe and turn that notification bell because I might eventually show you some leaks in one of these videos, and other people are gonna be like, "Dude, did you see those leaks inside DV's video? Did you see his new game?" And you're gonna be like, "Nah, it's because you didn't subscribe and turn that notification bell. It's your fault. Don't blame me." All right, so I'm gonna get some. It's not bedrock, it's coal. So we're gonna get some coal blocks. We got our coal blocks. We're just gonna kind of get away from this farm because it's ugly. I mean, it's beautiful. Hey, don't worry. I didn't fall, okay? It was just it was a bug. It was a bug. We need to get out here a little bit further just so we can get away from this beautiful, ugly, beautiful pineapple farm. Now what you want to do is you want to get some grass because that's what trees grow on, right? I mean, sometimes, technically they grow in dirt too, but we only have grass to work with, okay? We don't get to choose. So we're just going to go all the way over here. We're just going to go all the way to the world edge. And if you didn't know, like, world edge is pretty much 333 blocks that way. So we should be able to do like maybe 280 or so. Let's go get on our little witch broom. Can you imagine they stopped updating islands and left us with brooms as our only true mounts besides horses and stuff? But they're like, man, where's our motorcycles and flying cars? Rude. All right. We don't have to plow this, thankfully. So I would not recommend using an auto clicker on this because it's going to be kind of painful. So just keep going all the way to the edge. That must be the edge. Okay, so this is the edge. That means we can't build anymore. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get some conveyors, and we're going to use the cheap kind. And let's do it this way because we can, if we just jump off, it's going to be way easier because we can just build them this way. Actually, I'm going to build them on this side instead of the way we were doing it because it'll just be easier. Thankfully, conveyors are pretty cheap, so this shouldn't be too much of a problem for you. Place them however you want to place them. You can place them this way. I mean, if you're really good at this, you can even run with it. That works too. Like I said, this is not going to be like a super advanced build or expensive. Otherwise, I'd be using totems and all that. But if you want to check that build out, you can always go on my Discord at discord.gg/dvplays and just ask inside the Islands chat for a good wood auto farm. There's plenty of builds out there for you to check out that are going to be a little bit more advanced than this, but they're going to also be a lot more expensive than this. And most of those are based on this anyway. I made this video a long time ago before anyone ever did this. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to get a start flag right here, and then we're going to start planting some saplings. So there's all kinds of saplings you can do, of course, depending on what you're doing. If you're trying to figure that out, what I would recommend is take a look at your skills. If your wood cutting is not maxed out, then you're gonna have some issues because mine does 500% damage because I'm level 100. But if you're still like maybe level 20 or so, you're obviously limited on which saplings you can do. I would recommend just doing oak for a while. Then you can bump up to like pine. Pine's really good. Birch is good. Maple's harder and hickory's the hardest, or at least one of the hardest. So you're gonna want to basically stick with pine if you can, maple a little bit later, and then of course you don't need to use the Voidmatic. It's a little bit more expensive. You'd be fine with like an opal axe if you can afford it. I know everything's like super expensive now, so like that's probably like 5 billion coins. I'm kidding. So let me go ahead and get some saplings out real quick. We're gonna use, let's see, what do I have a lot of? I'm just gonna show you the pine sapling, but you can use any sapling that you want. You can also do a mix of them. So if you just want to like, hey, I want all of them, you could do that too. You could do like a mix of pine, you could do a mix of know, maple, all that. And what I would recommend is just do it like this. Like, don't worry about their distance between each other. Saplings are so cheap. You could try to space them so they're always up, but for the most part, you're going to be breaking them at, you know, a decent rate. They're going to pop up when they're ready. I just like doing it like this. And you can also do another layer. I'm going to show you in a second here, but we're going to do a second layer in addition to what we're doing right now, and just go all the way to the end here. It looks like we're going to run out of saplings anyway. I could go buy some more, but I'm too lazy. So we're going to go just switch over to oak. All right, we got 91 oak. We're just going to do this. All right, so we have a bunch of trees planted. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to space this out just a little bit. I would say like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, about right here is good. You can even do one more just to be safe. We're going to place that right there. And then we're just going to go and put a bunch of grass here. If I was not lazy, I would go buy a lot more pine trees, because pine trees keep it tight. Like, look at the spacing. Like, they're pretty consistent. There's 3, 4, 3, 4. They're almost consistent. It depends on the direction in which you plant them. And so you can get them to rotate the same way sometimes. Really depends. I don't know why Islands trees do this though. Like, I feel like they should just clip into each other. It'd be so much better if they just correctly grew, but they don't, man. All right, there we go. So now we're just going to fill this up with whatever trees we have left. We're just going to do them all. We'll do maple next. Actually, we'll do birch, because birch is pretty weak too. Maple's a little tougher, so it goes like oak to birch. No, oak to pine, I believe, and then birch. Something like that. It's been a while, okay? Don't judge. And now we're going to just put in some... Man, I want to do cherry blossom saplings, but we'll just do the maple. We'll put in some difficult maples. As long as we stay away from hickory. I hate hickory. Hickory's tough. All right, there we go. So now what you're going to do is you're going to get a pickaxe, all right? And an auto clicker. Now, sometimes the auto clicker does not work well, but it should in this case. And what you're going to want to do is shift your camera this way, okay? You're going to shift it to the side, so it's exactly like this, and you're just going to auto click. And you'll notice if I fall, then I respawn here. Now, it's going to be important that we respawn on the conveyor, so let's go and break that real quick. Let's make sure our flag is on top of the conveyor, like that. We can get rid of this excess right there. All right, so let's make sure, yep, we're on. And make sure your body is facing forward. That's really important. So your body's got to face forward on the conveyor. If it's facing this way, what's going to happen is at the end, you're going to get stuck on the conveyor. You're going to be hanging on. Let me just show you an example of what I mean. So if I do this and I get a conveyor like this, and I'm going to face my character away, watch what happens if I back up. I'm going to leave it like this. That's pretty much what's going to happen. No matter, even if you're holding an axe, okay? That's going to happen. And it's really annoying when it does. So if you're facing the correct direction though, like this, let me just do it. If you're facing the correct direction, you're going to drop off successfully. All right, so it's super important you do it correctly. Make sure you're facing in the direction of where the conveyor is going, or else it'll bug you out. And you'll be just wondering why you didn't farm any wood overnight. Okay, so direction is correct. We're going to start auto-clicking. We're going to adjust our camera just a little bit. And you're just going to set an auto clicker. I recommend OP auto clicker. There is a SourceForge link. You can also go to, I think it's opautoclicker.com or something like that. But this is it right here. I'm just going to set it for like 10 milliseconds, pretty fast. And then we're just going to run it. And then I'm going to walk on the conveyor, and you can just position your mouse accordingly. Now, of course, you could run. I mean, you're just going to leave this overnight anyway, and your trees need time to grow. So it doesn't really matter. You could add totems and upgrade them so that these are one tap no matter what. But those totems are going to cost you. And I'm going to show you that it's not that expensive to do totems, but we're going to show you how to one tap these in a second. The pine is one tap right now because I'm maxed out, and then the oak is also one tap. Now you could also add a couple more layers to the wood farm. You could add, some people do this where I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Some people do 3 rows. I think some people have done 4 rows and potentially more than that. I haven't really tried that myself because, I mean, this is usually fine, for me, unless you're trying to do like a crazy wood farm and you're trying to make a ton of money. Typically, this is just for personal farm. I think it works pretty good. Well, like I said, you could do another row back here. You can probably do another row ahead and get plenty of wood. Let's just go and speed this up. If I want to, I could just kind of run through it like this. Oh, I forgot something that's kind of important, all right? What I wanted to tell you, though, there's a setting in here. Make sure this is enabled. You see right here, you'll notice that it's auto replanting. They added a setting like a little bit later in the game. They have an auto replant sapling setting. So if you don't want it to auto replant the sapling, you could just turn that off, and that way it destroys the sapling. All right, so let's talk about the 2 tapping of trees. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, it's 4 taps, right? Let me show you something. So you need to do it. You can't do it with the crop totems, it's got to be a like resource totem. So what I mean by that, it's going to be like a coal totem. It's going to have to be like one of the gray totems. Any of the gray totems should work just fine. So stone, andesite, aquamarine, any of these will just be fine. We'll use coal because I have a ton of them. And you just need to put a block down. You want to make sure you put it in a way that's not level with any other blocks though, or else it's going to try to plant coal down. It's kind of annoying. Can't really remember the range on these, unfortunately, but you can kind of test it and figure it out. But what I want to do here is I want to plant one of these here. And again, I did it lower just so it wouldn't like put coal anywhere, because otherwise it's going to spawn. You basically don't want this to do anything other than have an upgrade on it. What's going to happen is any trees within the reach of this totem will basically be one tap. So let me show you. Let me go to coal totem. We're going to open it. We're going to go to upgrade right here. And then you'll notice right here, block hit damage when near. So what this means is it's going to take a lot more damage than usual. So if I upgrade this, it's only going to cost me stone and coins for a bit. And at 5 levels, it's going to require some ingots and some sticky gears. Most people have these, all right? And then at 11, it's going to require some more stuff. It's going to want ingots and sticky gears. Not that expensive, really. And we're about 44% more damage when near. So we want to get that to 100%. So we'll just keep upgrading. Again, this is pretty cheap for a bit, except for the steel rods. Steel rods start getting expensive. Counter this, you could stack more totems. So if you don't want to ever spend steel rods or sticky gears, we're at 70%. You could just add another 70%er, and we're going to do that just so you can see what I'm talking about. So we'll put another cool totem down. Boom. And then we're just going to upgrade that to be the same spot, 70. That way we don't have to, you know, spend any steel on this. It's another 70%. So now when I'm going along, let me get my axe out real quick. So if I'm going along, it's 2 tap now. So you can get it to a point where it's doing 1 tap, and you can either do more totems or you could just, you know, bite the bullet and do more of an upgrade. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's just bring it up to like, we'll do the steel ingots to about right there. I'll show you what this does. Almost 1 tap. Bump this one up. All right, there's 1 tap, 1 tap. The reach is pretty good on these totems too. And these totems will reach most of this area as well. I think it's like 15 blocks or so. It's been a while since I've tested the distance on these guys, but if I recall, it's like a 15 block radius. So we'll wait for another one to grow. Again, instead of doing the level upgrade I did, you could just add more totems. Pretty much what I would do. All right, so here we go. These should be 1 tap. Yep. Just need to make sure your totems don't get hit or clicked on, because you'll probably 1 tap those too. But you can just pretty much run through here. If you plan on running it actively, you might want to put a border here, like some glass or something, so it's easier for you to run on. But here's, it looks like it ends right here. So you'll notice it's kind of tough back here. So you don't need a lot of these totems. You just spread them out. I think it's like every 15. So it'll be like 15 this way. And then to reach all these, you want to go 15 in. So it's like every 30 or something like that. It's like 28 or 30. I can't remember the exact number, but just go ahead and test it out. See what distance you need. And like I said, you could do another layer back here if you really want to. So you can have 3 layers of trees while you're going. Just depends on how aggressive you really want to get. But then you can just move the camera back here. And then you can hit like 3 rows, potentially 4 rows of trees. Another way to do it, like my actor grinds, typically I just do something like this. You can just kind of full on sprint it. It's a great way to level up too, except you're going to hit those caps. They have like a daily bonus cap. You can also use upgraded like tier 2 conveyors, but I wouldn't recommend that. It's kind of expensive, especially for this kind of stuff. So you can also use your mounts as well to get some really good speed. There's also, you know, you can use peppers, and you can pretty much jam through here actively if you really want to. You know, I just realized we kind of built to the edge of the map. So to counter that, you got to avoid using starter flags. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. If you reach the edge of the map, it does cancel out your checkpoint. So let me show you. Here we go. See how it just canceled it? So to fix that, instead of having to rebuild everything, let's just switch over to a spawn block. The downside of a spawn block, instead of using these, is that spawn blocks you have to keep like replacing, whereas these you just run over it. So if you had multiple auto farms that are similar to this that you want to be able to respawn off of, like say a Cryiron farm or something, you would want to use start flags instead. So you go to your inventory, go to spawn block. We're looking for that purple block here. Grab that. Go and break this. And we're going to put this under the conveyor. And what that's going to do is it's going to essentially just spawn me up on top of the conveyor. What I mean by that is if I just drop off, there we are. Now it does respect the orientation. So if you're kind of spawning where your body's facing this way, you gotta rotate it. So to fix that, let's just put this again. We're gonna click this and we're gonna rotate it once. There we go. Now let's jump off. And now we're facing the correct orientation. Just hit R to rotate before you place. Anyway, that's going to be it. I hope this was helpful to you. For all you OGs, you're probably laughing like, DB, I've been doing that for, 50 years when we were little youngins, and now I'm in my old age, and I'm an old timer now, and gray hairs, and, back in our days, we didn't even use those conveyor thingies. Yeah, I know y'all, all you OGs, dude, okay? I'm an OG too, all right? I don't talk like that. You do. Anyway, again, thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for Cryiron Farm next week. Many of you remember my OG Cryiron Farm. Well, yeah, it's going to be kind of similar, right? So we're going to have to fix some things we did wrong today. Anyway, until next time, happy grinding. Peace.